And we have that beautiful mirror in the back.
So we're live now. Hey everybody, I'm Laura and you're watching Atomic News. And just like I said I would do, you guys, I promised you that we would interview my grandma. You guys know I have talked about my grandma like I can't even count how many times on my channel. This is my Cuban grandma.
Hi there.
So if you're new here to my channel, welcome. I'm Laura. This is Atomic News. We are a conservative political news channel, and the whole family is Trump supporters, and my grandma's a Trump supporter.
Yeah.
And she is from Cuba. She came from Cuba to America when she was young, and she lived under Castro and communism. And I think her story is just so interesting, so amazing, and it just like I still tell stories about her all the time. So I know you guys have been asking to hear from my grandma. So now that I'm here in Florida, we are going to interview my grandma Aurora.
Hi there. I'm Aurora Gilmore Moss, and I'm 80 years old. I'm very proud of it.
80. She's still a firecracker.
So I came to this country first when I was about 10 years old. My parents sent all of us to Catholic boarding school, which was great because we had a good education, and he was so in love, my father, with this country. And this is many, many, many years ago. So we went to school in Kentucky, myself and my three sisters. My family was very affluent. They had a lot of money, both in my parents' their side and my mother's side. So I had a wonderful childhood. And Cuba in those days was absolutely a paradise. We had the same things that you had here. We had also the influence of Europe with all the things. And so it was wonderful. Then Castro came, and we thought at the beginning that he was going to be like a savior. You know, we had Batista before, he was a mafioso. But I'll tell you what, between communism and mafia, I'll take mafia any day. Okay?
Wow.
When Castro took over, little by little, he started changing things. And at first, people didn't realize it. We thought, okay, there's a lot of money. We can share our money. Like my mother had apartment buildings, and they told her that, let's say, I don't remember how much she used to, her income for the apartments would be, but let's say $10,000 a month. The most that she could get then after Castro was $600 a month.
Well, so she collected. She like that's an example. So she would like let's say collect $10,000 for her rent.
Yeah,
from all of her places,
and they cut it to $600.
And they took everything but $600.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
And that was just an example of everything that they did. They went and nationalized all the businesses. They went in. My father was a president of a bank for 27 years. They walked in the bank one day and put this idiot that couldn't count two and two to take care of it. The bank was a commercial bank, so they did a lot of business with companies and farmers, and corporations, and then they took over that bank. They took over everything. So the thing was that they put people in charge that did not know what they were doing. So all these businesses went under. Another thing that Castro did that people in this country don't even know about it. Overnight, he changed the currency. Can you imagine if we woke up tomorrow morning and our dollar had been changed for another currency? And even if you had $100,000 in your house, you had nothing. The most that people could change was $2,500. And how we survived was my grandfather had a big farm, and the peons that worked in the farm came to the city, And my father gave them like $2,500, and they went in and exchanged it for the new currency. And then my father gave them $100 or $200, for doing that. So my father said to me, we have enough money to last 4 years, and that was it, because they had lost everything. The only thing that they still had was their home that we lived in. Now, meanwhile, okay, I had gotten married to the love of my life, Pedro Fuentes, and we had had a child, my son Pete, that lives in the States here. He lives in the Winter Park, and he's 59 years old. Um, well, when Pete was born, we moved to Havana, and Pedro was in the university, and he also was working underground to overthrow Castro. He was caught, and he tried to escape because he was with a friend in his car full of arms, and they caught him. They blew out the tires of the car, and they put him in jail for days and days and days. We didn't even know where he was. And when we found out where he was, they were going to sentence him to death. And in those days, he was like, if you were sentenced to death, it wasn't like you could be there. Next day, they put you in the firing squad and you were killed. Mm-hmm. So we were so desperate that my parents, I was only 20 years old at that time. So I didn't have any influence. I didn't know what to do. My parents, thank God, and my in-laws, they took over, and they called presidents in South America, influential people, and they commuted his sentence to 60 years, which we were elated because there were no death. Right. So then they sent him to Isle of Pines, which now Fidel calls it the Island of Youth, which is a big. Mm-hmm. give me a break.
Tell us how you feel, Grandma.
Yeah. And so to go there, you have to go by boat. And you could not see, once the prisoners were sent there, it was like Alcatraz. You could see them once a year. So when we went to see him, he told me, he says, you got to get out of Cuba. Now, meanwhile, my whole family, all my aunts, uncles, cousins, had been leaving Cuba. And they were in Miami, most of them. So the only ones that stayed behind was my parents. My mom and dad stayed with me. They would not leave without me. So when Pedro was put in prison, our son Pete was 5 months old. He is 59 now. And then we decided to leave Cuba. It was a lot of paperwork. We finally got the paperwork. They gave us permission to leave. We went to Havana, which was like 12 hours away from Holguin. The city of Holguin is where we lived. And my mom and I stayed at the hotel, and my father went to get the airline tickets, and he came back and he says, we can't leave. And we go, why? They did not give us permission to take Pete out of the country because they say his father is a political prisoner and he cannot, he belongs to the government. Now, in those days, and people don't realize that, they were taking small children and sending them to Russia to be indoctrinated. And the parents would not see them for years, okay? So we were desperate to get him out of Cuba. So that day, my father said to me, Aurora, think of anybody that can help us. And I had been so protected all my life. I had never been in a car by myself, in a taxi by myself. And my father gave me all this money. And he said, do whatever you need to do. And he did the same thing. So the first person I went to see was a first cousin of mine that we grew up like sisters, but she had married a guy that was with Castro. And she lived in a beautiful penthouse. When I got to the elevator, you had to press the button so they can give you permission to keep going.
Oh, yeah. Like,
Yeah.
okay, like you see in the movies. Yeah.
You're right. So when I got there, she treated me very coldly. And I said, Gloria Esther, that was her name. She passed away a few years ago. Um, you I need help. They wouldn't let me take Pete out of the country. And she looked at me and she said, there is nothing I can do for you. I didn't cry. I didn't do anything. I walked out and I thought, that. So then, thank you, Lord. He enlightened me. I remember a friend of ours that was a friend of Pedro, and she was with the government, but she was a nice person. So I went to see her. And when I told her about it, she picked up the phone and she said, they can't do that to you. She talked to this person over the phone and she gave me this address and the name of this man. She said, go and see him. So I went to this building, and at that time, I was like 21 years old now. Not, I didn't have the pounds that I have on now. So I was very voluptuous. and all these militia guys were whistling and saying things to me, and I was like horrified. I was like walking without looking at anybody. So they took me into this office with all these big militiamen, and they all had their rifles and everything. So I asked for this man, and he was sitting in a desk, and he was waiting for me. So I gave him Pete's passport, and he stamped it, and then he put made a letter for me and put it in the passport. And he said, you won't have any problem with that. So then, okay, so we're later now. We're going to the airport next day morning, okay? We get to the airport. My parents had, I don't know if you guys ever remember, the older people will remember that suitcases had linings. And so my mother had taken the lining of the suitcase and put money there and glued it, okay? And then she had taken in the dresses, the hem of the dresses.
Oh,
she had done the same thing.
Oh my God, I don't know this part.
Yeah. So then also she had done, and this was the mistake, because it was done so much that they knew about it. In a cold cream bottle, she took the cold cream, she had those little mementos of babies, our little chains and things like that from when we were babies.
Yeah.
She put it there, and then she put a little, like a little second floor, like a
something to cover it.
Yes,
like a secret compartment.
Yes.
Okay.
And then the cold cream on top, and the cold cream was, and they took that cold cream bottle, and the guy took a pencil and he goes, there's there's a false bottom. And my poor mother's, she goes, she couldn't even. And then they found that, and they were like hyenas. They came back with all the luggage, and they were with knives, opening everything, found everything. And Pete, my son Pete, had this. Now he was a year and a half. He had this white teddy bear that his grandfather had given him. They took the teddy bear away from him, took a knife and opened it up.
Oh my God.
Pete was screaming, thinking that they were killing his teddy bear.
Oh my God.
And then they emptied all the stuff from the teddy bear, and then they gave it to him. They found one of my mother's treasures was my grandmother's rosary that she had passed away many years ago. And they took the rosary and they were throwing it back and forth at them. Okay. So they were both put in jail. So when I left Cuba that day, because they didn't find anything on me. So they told me I could leave. And my father was able to whisper to me, "You don't know anything." So in one room, my mother would say, "I did it all. My husband and my daughter didn't do anything." In the other room, my father would say the same thing. So they let me go. And when I got to the airplane, I don't know what my face looked like, but this man that I never saw again looked at me and said, "You must be going through something so horrible." And he gave me his card and he said, "If you ever need anything, please, but I never did. But he is an angel. And if he's ever watching this, I don't even know what his name was." So when I got to Miami, my sisters were there and everybody, and we were thrilled to see each other. But we were very sad that my parents were thrown in jail. They were there for years. They were able to get out. They had no home then because they had taken everything from us. Our home was gone. All the money was gone. No, no, no jewelry. No, no, nothing. Three changes of clothes. Okay, that was it. That's what I came into this country. My wonderful, beautiful country. This is the country that I live. I will die here. And I am telling you this because I am so afraid for this country. I see what the communist country, the communist people are doing it. They're infiltrating everything that is happening. All these riots, all this, um, uh, what is the black thing?
Black Lives Matter.
Yes, that all life matters. All life matters. This is the most horrible thing. I never thought that this would happen in our country. Okay, we have to, somehow. We cannot let them get away with that. Uh, we have to get Trump back, keep him in the office. He's the only one that can really save us. If we lose Trump, God help us. And I don't know where else we would go. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking I left Cuba because I left the communism, what the things that they do. You cannot imagine, okay, living in a communist country, you have no goals. Even if you work and work and work, everything that you do, the government takes care of it.
And they take your
and
money.
They take everything, okay? You can be a doctor, and doctors are getting paid like $20 a month. Can you imagine? Now, this, where we are now, is a free country. If you work hard, you can accomplish. I went to work without any experience or anything. I never thought in my life that I was going to work for a living. I went to work at Richard's department store in Miami 15 days after I was here. I lied and said that I had a lot of experience. Now,
she's a good talker, so it doesn't surprise me that she could get through that.
I had never even bought underwear for myself. My mother used to buy everything for me. That's how protective we were. So where do you think, what department did they put me to work at?
Lingerie?
Lingerie department. So I thought, okay, God, please help me. And like I said, in those days, I was young and voluptuous. And men would come and say, "And what size bra do you wear?" And I would go, I would turn red. I was like, at the beginning, I was, later on, I got used to it. I said, 34B, So,
but you probably weren't used to that type of.
Oh, no.
That didn't happen.
Oh, my gosh. No. I was so protected.
Yeah.
We didn't even buy the essential things for women.
Oh, yeah.
Never, ever. Yeah. But anyways, I went through that. I worked there 4 years, and then I went to banking. I worked in the stock market for 25 years. Merrill Lynch and Prudential Securities. I worked in escrow companies. And my latest job was at Nielsen Media, calling. I was a bilingual, calling people on the phone. I loved my job, okay? Because I had a lot of friends, a lot of nice people, young people. Then they make you young. When you work with young people, they make you feel younger. And I'm I'm in furlough right now. They put me in furlough because of
everything.
everything. So, but I wanted to tell everybody that is listening, please fight for our country. Don't let these communist people and I cannot imagine the people that still think that is Biden is just he's I don't think he's right up here or anywhere. They're using him. They're using him. And if God help us, if he wins, he's not going to have any say so. Uh, what is the other one that wanted?
Kamala Harris.
No, oh God, don't talk to me about it. That woman.
What do you? Oh, there's a good question. What do you think of like women like Kamala or the Squad? Like, when you see these type of women acting like the way they do, like what do you think? What do you want to say, like to people, like, or even young people who think that they're the most amazing examples of women out there?
I cannot even, words cannot even come out of my mouth. They're white trash. White trash, that how they have gotten into the government, I don't know, because I would never vote for anybody like that. They have no idea what our country is. They don't know history. They're look at all these things that they're doing, throwing our monuments, monuments, taking our American flag and burning it. For God's sake, that is a treasure. That is the American flag. I would take those idiots and put them in jail and throw away the key, okay? Because they have, like I said, they're idiots. They don't know the history. They don't love our country. And Kamala Harris and that other girl, what is her name?
AOC. Is that what you're talking?
What is AOC?
AOC. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Okay. Ilhan Omar.
Oh
Rashida
yeah.
Tlaib.
Yeah, all of them.
They're different. They're not the white trash. They're a different racial trash.
Okay, what I want to say to these women, I hope you're listening to me, okay? Go to Cuba, go to Venezuela, 2 or 3 years without anything. No money, no jewelry, nothing. Try to make a living there. Sweetheart, the only thing you're going to be able to make a living is selling yourself.
A hooker.
Okay? Because there's no jobs in those countries. People are starving. And why? Because they're communist. They made Cuba a communist country that was one of the most beautiful, one of the highest standard of living in the world.
Because back in the day, didn't people, like, that was a destination? People wanted to go to Cuba.
Oh, and
it was gorgeous. It's an island. It's tropical.
Yeah, but not only that, we had the industries. We had, the economy was fantastic. Like our economy here. Before this pandemic that China sent to us, and thank God we're healthy and we're hugging. But I wanted to say thank you for anybody that is listening. Let's do this. Let's go November the 3rd and vote. And pray. You have to pray a lot that people that are thinking about it, don't think about it. There's only one person that you can vote for, and it's Trump. Okay, he is our salvation right now.
That's the only choice.
Yeah, that's the only choice. So thank you for listening to me. God bless everybody. God bless the United States of America. And And I love my granddaughter. Bye.
Bye guys. Thanks for watching. We're gonna go play today. We're going to one of my favorite restaurants. It's called Krabby Bill's.
Krabby Bill's.
And then I'm sure we'll pass by the beach and we're just gonna do whatever we want because that's.
And we had some margaritas last night. They were so good.
We did. I had like this much. It was like so strong. And I was like, ooh. I felt it. And I woke up this morning with bags so bad that I was like, oh my gosh, with my eye roller. I was like, hold on. We're running late for this interview. You guys know I'm never on time anyway. So
it was a pleasure talking or listening to you, me. I'm listening to myself. I had never done this, okay? I had never done this. I love it.
And for the longest time, like, other people in the family have been like, Grandma, you should tell your story. Tell your story because people they forget like what happened back then. They don't think people try to erase history so that they can make it what they want right now, but you can't forget history. You can't get rid of monuments. You can't erase history. You can't burn those books. That's how you grow as human beings, is to develop into something new and exciting. You can't erase mistakes and then pretend they never happened, because that's who you are. I mean, that's our history.
And let me interfere. They were destroying monuments that were black people that had done a lot of things in this country.
A lot of good things.
And these idiots threw down these monuments of these people that had helped them because they didn't know the difference. They were just destroying. But that is communism. Okay, they're paying these people to do this. We have to wake up. Everybody has to wake up and say, no, you're not going to do this to our country, okay? So I can talk for hours, but anyways, maybe I'll see you back because I told my granddaughter I want to come back, okay?
I told her we could do a split screen, and even though she's here in Florida, I can connect her to where, I'm on one side and she's on the other side, just like we've done with other people on my channel. Okay. And we could talk about all sorts of stuff. So,
and I just want to say that I have one son, 2 grandchildren, and lots of great-grandchildren. I have 8 great-grandchildren, 4 boys, no, 6, 2 boys and 6 girls. The baby is only 2 months old. I haven't seen her yet because we're being very careful with this COVID-19. But anyways, I have a beautiful life in this country. I'm a widow. That's another story, okay?
Yeah, right.
Because I've been married 3 times. Yes, 3 times.
She might be 80, but she's not slowing down anytime soon. No, we're gonna party today.
Okay. So goodbye.
She'll be the one going woo after a few margaritas. All right, guys. So thanks for being here. And like I said, if you're new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you haven't already, hit the like button because Grandma here rocks. Okay, so hit the like button for Grandma. And thank you all for being here. Thank you all for all the nice things that you said in the chat room. I can tell you after everything that I saw.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
People are saying nice things about me.
Yes. Look at that. Hold on, I'll show you. Hold on, I'll show you. I'll go to
Have you closed yet?
Almost.
Well, next time to talk about Pedro.
Yes.
Yeah, that might be another person that we could have a 3 screen, like 3 people on the screen.
We still live?
So yeah, we're still live. But look, it says, amazing woman, thank you. We're glad you came here and got away from that crazy man, referring to Castro. Yeah. Oh gosh, your precious mama. All this. So, let me go down. Sometimes they like to chat back and forth with each other. Would love to hear more from your grandma.
Oh my gosh!
Thank God you can tell people how hard as hell it was to go through that. Amen. All positive things all the way down. So I have met people from Cuba that love the U.S. Pure hearts and full of gratitude. Nothing stopping you. People don't realize Cuba was a rich country. Just like Venezuela. Just like Venezuela was rich at one time.
We had everything. We had everything just like the United States. Some people think that we were. Somebody told me one day, "Did you have houses up in the trees?" This was years ago. I said, "Yes, sweetheart. We swung from one limb to another."
And you beat your chest while you
But
did it.
we had a beautiful, beautiful country, like this country. We were only 90 miles away. We're only 90 miles away. We're closer than Orlando.
Yeah.
Cuba is that close. I wish that they could have maybe Trump will do a bridge. He can construct a bridge from Key West to Cuba. Wouldn't that be wonderful?
And then people won't have to. We won't find people floating on rafts.
No, exactly.
You
There's been thousands of people that have drowned trying to, and these were good people trying to get out.
Just trying to get out.
And with the children and everything, it was a horrible story.
So when you see all the people that want to cross from other countries, like from Guatemala and Honduras, do you kind of, to a point, understand? But it's
okay.
It's different, but it's kind of.
I have mixed feelings. I think people have to come legally. And if
you did.
I always had a passport. My family always had a passport because we would come to this country so much, But I think coming legally, and the people that can, we have to look into it. Are they really, they could be drug dealers. Those people we don't want in this country. So we have to really make sure that who comes in, if they're good people, they want to work, then we can give them the paperwork for them to work. They're hardworking people.
It's got to be legit, like not just because I want to make money and I want and live off make money living off the government.
Oh, well, yeah, like there's families in this country that's their business. They all work for the government. Take, give me, and I'm sorry, but I feel like I was raised that you marry and have children. A lot of people marry and don't have children, but they don't get married. I mean, you know what I mean? They don't get married, so the government and us, we're paying for their children. And that's where all the money goes, okay? And my granddaughter, one of my granddaughters has 4 children. And Zoe and Adeline had seizures.
Seizures. Yeah.
Yes, and when they went to the hospital and the specialist, this was thousands and thousands of dollars. My granddaughter and her husband paid as much as they could off. They didn't say, "Oh, well, we're not going to pay it back." They did.
Yeah.
And it was very hard for them to pay it back, but they did. So again, I can't keep talking. You guys are going to get tired
I
of me.
have one last question because I thought about this, and I think I asked you this a long time ago, but this probably would be interesting for you guys because obviously my grandma's bilingual. So grandma, when you dream or you think in your head, do you think in English or Spanish?
Gosh, I think it's in English. I think it's
or is it
English.
Spanglish?
No, not Spanglish. English. I have an accent, but I think you can understand me.
Yeah.
Do you know the other day, who was that movie star, has-been movie star, that said that our first lady had an accent and she couldn't speak English?
Oh, Bette Midler?
Oh, my God.
I think it was Bette Midler.
Okay, she speaks like 5 or 6 languages.
Right.
She's very well educated. And yes, she has an accent because us that come from other countries, even though I have been here 70 years.
Yeah.
I still have an accent. Can't get rid of it.
It's not vodka with a V. It's vodka with a V.
Vodka.
It still is to this
Yes.
day.
And vegetables.
And
Vegetables.
Vegetable, and she'll spell it that way too with a V. Yeah.
Let's
That's
say
my
goodbye
grandma.
because
All right.
they're getting tired.
I know. Well,
Bye.
we got stuff to do. We got to go play. All right. Love you guys. Thanks for being here. And until next time,
Bye.
peace out.
What do I
did
do?
it. Just
Yes,
make
I
the
did
peace
it.
sign.
Yes.
This is my sign out every time I say peace
Peace
out.
out. How was it?
This is good.